of the features we feel is essential for any camper conversion, motorhome or caravan, is roof ventilation. They add light into the van, they obviously allow air, warm air and stale air to go out and draw in nice fresh air from the base. The market is full of different options, ranging in different qualities and different price wise. In a living area, the trend nowadays is to have a nice large roof vent, but in a shower room and a bathroom you're limited on your options. And the most common choice is around a 280mm square roof vent. We've got two here to sample. We've got the most common model on the market, which is traditionally used in older caravans, an MPK roof light. So this box has a 400 in, this is a 280 version, and we have a newer edition, a Fiamma Vent 28f. Same size, 280mm, 28cm square, but they're very different products. So let's have a look at the differences. Starting with our MPK roof light. So this is the 280 model. It's identical to the 400. It comes with a white, slightly transparent top. This is what they call the white base. They do a beige, which is darker. This they call white. Please note, it's not white as you would know it. Certainly not white. It comes with a fly screen, and when opened you can access the handles, which allow you to tip open in any which angle you wish. Installation is very simple. The two parts come apart. The top section fits from the top, cut an appropriate sized hole, sealer around the outside, that just sits on the top. It's secured by sandwiching your roofing between these two plates. So when you open the fly screen, you have screws around the outside, and that literally sandwiches the roof. That's what holds the top down with some adhesive. You're limited on the thickness of the roof, but as you go over that, just longer screws needed, and you've got a bit of a gap to cover. It's a simple product, it's an easy product to install. In a caravan it's absolutely fine. However, in a camper or motorhome, we would strongly advise against these MPK roof lights, purely because of the noise. Anything over about 40 miles an hour, these things whistle. They are constantly vented. Air goes up between the two layers of the top section and comes through the gridding in the middle. They are noisy. So although you can have a blind option, that doesn't reduce the noise in any noticeable way. So ideal for caravan, not ideal for a camper, motorhome or day van conversion. Ironically, at a very similar price is the Fiamma 28f. And they do this in two options. They do it with the white top. Now the white top version will be the same price, we find, as an MPK. So although you won't get any light through with the white top, as you would there, for the same price it's a much better product in our view. For an extra, it's about 50% extra, so it does add a bit on. So these are about £42 for the white versions. For 63 you can have it with what they call a crystal top. It's a smoked plastic top. So let's have a closer look at the Fiamma 28f vent. So here we have it. We have an instruction manual. We have some securing screws at various lengths. And these often aren't included, and they aren't included with the Vent 400 for some reason. We have some reinforcing plates, and this is our Vent 28f. As you note, it has a clear plastic top that has a slight smoke finish, so a nice look. It has a, again, not white frame, so this is the top, the external part, and this is the underside. And you note the big difference, it's aerodynamic. So although it is still vented up under the lip through the centre, the front is not vented, it's actually shielded and being aerodynamic, it's a lot quieter. And the internals, again, comes in two sections. And this piece is obviously the top. Cut an appropriate size hole, install it on the top. Now the the Vent 40, the 400mm version, will have a thicker lip with screw holes all the way around that can be secured from the top. The 28f just sits on the same way as the MPK. Sits on from the top and is secured by sandwiching the lower plate. Now this has a fly screen. It's not easily removable, but it does just clip around the corner, around the four corners. Again, with the Vent 400, this panel is screwed on from the bottom as it sandwiches, so if you want to clean the fly screen you have to literally unscrew the bottom section. On the 28f it will unclip to allow you to clean that. So with our fly screen set aside, that's our interior panel, that's our handle, and we have our screw holes. And you can now see where those reinforcing plates came from. Literally two just fell out. So the screws go through there. These plates will go back into there for installation using the screws provided. So our top section fitted on the roof. The lower section will be offered up from the inside, and our screws will go through to sandwich it, and the fly screen will go back on again to cover it. These are a nice product. To open it we don't need to open the fly screen, literally a handle. So as we turn the handle, there'll be a little thing in there as well. A roof opens. It opens a generous amount, and they do advise do not drive with it open, and certainly we would not recommend driving with it open that far. However, if you're sensible, both with your speed and with the amount it's opened, you can improve some ventilation having it open slightly. You will also increase your noise level. The question is, if your existing caravan has an MPK installed, and these have been fitted for literally decades, can you retrofit it with a Fiamma? The answer is sort of. The issue is the underside. The top side will fit the same hole, and there's no issues there. The issue is the underside. See, this MPK has your internal panel. Your Fiamma has a similar idea. Now what you need to check is whether they're covering the same area. So if we were to put those two together, we see that the Fiamma covers slightly less on the width. If we line at the bottom, it covers quite a lot less on the length. So if you have that roof vent installed at the moment, you've obviously got a bit of wear and a bit of dirt and a bit of creasing where this has been pushing against your roof liner for how many years. You take that down, you put this one up, it's not going to cover that exact same area. So depending on your roof, you may have a gap, or you may have some dirty fabric or some denting left showing. So yes, you could change them in most cases. However, it may not be the perfect install. Now this is comparing the 280mm versions, and we know from experience that the 400, so the 400mm MPK and the Vent 400, there's an even greater difference between these two internal panels. There's about ½ an inch all the way around difference. So if your fabric or the internal layer has been cut, your roof line has been cut to fit the MPK, you may find you've got some tidying up, some work to do around the edge to fit the Vent 400. So the last thing to note with the Fiamma is the allowable thickness of the roof. So that's the minimum thickness, and we can increase that, and then we've got a gap there. Anything, not a problem, we can just use longer screws like we can with the MTK. The issue with the Fiamma is the connection of the handle. So as we come away further, the stem of the roof now becomes distant from the handle. They sell an extension kit which you can fit onto this stem, and it will reach the handle. It is overpriced for what it is. Compared to the price of the entire roof, the extension kit is almost half the price. It is overpriced. Really, you have no choice if you have a thicker roof. So how thick can our roof be? Well, on our Vent 28f, the instruction manual gives us our dimensions for the cuts and the screws, and also tells us our allowable roof thickness. 2.8 centimetres, that's 28 millimetres, that's an inch and a bit, minimum, up to 6 centimetres, 60 millimetres maximum. So anything over 60 millimetres, now our handle will not engage, you need to buy the extension kit. There's some dimensions there. Total roof vent size 34 centimetres, 9 centimetres from roof surface to top of vent when closed, 30 when it's open. So it's permanently ventilated using a sandwich system. The 28F does not screw from the top, the 40F does. That concludes our review of the Fiamma Vent 28F in comparison with the MPK Rooflights range.